Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
So the first topic is overloading. So before discussing about this topic, we just need to know some ground level information. Let us take one example. Addition of two numbers, two decimal points, two strings. For string, we won't call it as an addition. We'll call it as concatenation. Just we are trying to append two string values. Just like hello is one string and world is another string. Once after concatenation, it will provide like hello world. So let us say we want to perform these three operations. The first one is addition of two numbers. In the same way, addition of two decimal points and concatenation of two strings. In C or C++ language, or let us consider only in C language, if you want to provide these three methods to a client, let us say you have written a program called arithmetic operation, and you are providing the details to a client or some other class. The client is nothing but also a different class. So that means you'll be going to write three methods: add integers, add floats, add strings. This is how you'll be going to write three methods in case of a C language, because C language won't support overloading concept. Overloading, what is meant by overloading? In Java language, we have the option of writing same method name for two or more methods. See, normally when we write methods, let us declare a class and we are writing some methods in the class. So we already know that we are not supposed to use same name for two different identifiers. So if you want, you can declare int num1 and int num2. That is restricted with respect to identifiers or variables. But in case of methods, you can have the same name for two different methods as long as the parameters are different as long as we have different parameter set itself, or else we can have the number of arguments. Let us say the first method is having 2 arguments, and if the second method is having 3 arguments, that means both the methods are said to be overloaded. Overloading, nothing but you'll be going to use the same method name as we discussed just now. Let us say add is our method name, and the next method also will contain the same method name, but the restriction is you should have different parameters list. In the sense, either you can have different number of arguments. The first method accepts, let us say, integer and integer, and second method accepts 3 integers. So in this case, you can see that the first method is having 2 arguments and the second method is having 3 arguments. Or else you can have same number of arguments also, but the data type should be different. So either it can differ in number of arguments, or it can differ in terms of data types. So whenever you write the same method name, say here, as you can see, I'm using the same method name for 2 different methods. Once you have followed any of these 2 restrictions, then these methods are said to be overloaded, and the process is called as method overloading. Process is called as method overloading. See, you can have any number of methods that can involve in overloading process. Here you can have add string comma string, or else you can have add of char comma char. You can have any number of overloaded methods. All these methods are called as overloaded methods, and the entire process is called as method overloading. See, in case of C language, we don't have overloading concept, which means you are going to end up with writing 3 different methods, as I have seen. So writing, let us say, if that won't be an issue for a Java programmer, but that will become a problem when we have handed over the code to the client. The client has to remember these 3 different method names. So for integers, he should call add integers method. For strings, he should call add string method. For floating points, he has to call add float methods. So that means the client was supposed to remember all those methods if the language hasn't supported overloading. But in case of Java language, you can just inform to the client that go and call a method called add method, and pass the data. Either you can pass 3, 4. In this case, add of 3, 4, which means these 2 are integers. Let us say the client is calling add of 1.2, 3.4. So in this case, the client is interested to call add method which accepts floating point data. The client is passing some strings hello, world. So in this case, the client is interested to call add method which accepts 2 string values. So as a client, you can see that we are only calling add method. We are able to perform the operation in 3 different ways. That's the usage of overloading. If this process was not available, just now we have discussed what exactly that we are supposed to do. So whenever, let us say, as a Java programmer, you have written 3 methods just like this. And once after that, the client is writing some code, or let us say from some other class, we are trying to write a code by accessing or creating an object for our arithmetic operation, and then we are trying to call the add method. So let us say we have created an object for arithmetic operation. And once after that, we are calling add of 1.2, 3.4. This method we are calling. So at this point of time, your Java, the JVM will go and take a look at the class file and understands that there are 3 methods available with respect to the method name add. So then it will verify the arguments. It will match the arguments first. Let us say there are 2 arguments available. As you can see in our code also, in our Java program also, for each and every method, each and every overloaded method consists of 2 arguments only. Then Java will try to match the exact data type. So currently you are passing the floating point data types here, 1.2 and 3.5. So Java will first verify whether double values are available or not. If you guys remember, double is the default for decimal points. In the same way, int is the default for integers. So your Java program will match for an exact data type. If at all, if the double was not available, it will go and verify the floating points. So here it uses a mechanism called automatic type conversion. We'll discuss about type conversion again. But currently, double, which accepts 8 bytes, your floating point, which accepts 4 bytes. So that means a big space, 8 byte space you have, you're trying to call a method with 4 bytes only. You can easily fit 4 bytes in a 8 byte double value. So in that case, Java knows that the converting from double to float, it won't affect in terms of memory, and it can easily convert the value to a float and can call the method. Let us say you are calling with respect to 1, 3. So in this case, you are calling the method with respect to integers, and you have a method available with integers, and Java will try to resolve the call to match the exact data type, and it will call, or it will pass the control to execute add of int, integer method. So whenever there is no exact match available, Java will take a look at the automatic type conversion, and if at all, if it was not able to resolve, it will throw a compiler error during your Java C itself. One of the most common interview questions I have seen is the difference between overloading and I didn't cover anything related to overriding. I'll explain once after reaching that place. And before that, let me complete 1 or 2 topics. So I will take the doubts during the break session. So if at all, if you have a sample doubt, a simpler doubt, if I can explain within a single line of explanation, you can just go ahead and ask. If I am not able to complete, if I was not able to complete the doubt within 1 or 2 minutes, then it would be better if you can discuss that during the break time or once after the class. I don't want to disturb the entire session for explaining one particular doubt.
Krish?
Yep.
This is Vijay. You were saying something about the common interview question.
No. That was Moin is asking some other question which is not related to our current topic, so I'll be going to explain that later. Overloading is an example of polymorphism. Polymorphism means ability to take more than one form. So currently you can see that our add method in our arithmetic operations class, it was able to take different formats. So one particular interface or one particular method you can see here, it was able to specify in 3 different formats or 3 different methods. So overloading is an example of polymorphism. So currently we'll take a look at the method overloading first. We have already seen how to write the method overloading. Just go and write an example for that. New class. Method overloading. Let us write 3 methods. Public void add of integer a comma integer b. So I'm just writing to add 2 integer numbers, c equal to a plus b. Addition of 2 integers plus c. So similarly write 2 more methods for adding double values and then string values. Now write a main method. Either you can write in the same class or you can write a separate test class. There won't be any issue. So I'm going to create an object for our method overloading class. And then call mo dot add of, yeah, I'll write that one, Jitan. Add of int a comma int b. So here I'm writing 10 comma 20. And then mo dot add of 10.1.0 comma 2.5. mo dot add of hello world. See, think about in a client perspective. Here, let us say this code was written by client, and you can see that he's only writing one method but passing different data types here: 10, 20, 1.0, 2.5, and then hello world. Even our system.out.println also, you can see that here I'm passing integer data, and here I'm passing double data. Here I'm passing string data. Our println method from our Java spec, this is also a overloaded method which accepts any type of data. Just a second. So here you can see that your println method, it is accepting boolean, char, double, float, integer, long, object, string. So still they are using the same method name, and you can see that they have written a overloaded method overloading concept, and they are providing the println method for all data types. So that's the reason this println method is able to print any kind of information. Currently, the same way we are also doing. See, if the println method was not overloaded, then you should be writing like println integer, println double, println string. So which is kind of hard mechanism to remember all the method names. Now let us go and execute this method, main method. So you can see that the first method, it has resolved to integer call, second method double call, third method string call. So it was able to resolve the method call, and it was able to transfer the control during the execution point. Let us say here I am writing one float and one integer. So what I am doing here, I'm sending one double value, and then I'm sending one integer value. Let us go and execute this code now. You can see that addition of two doubles. If at all, if you are getting confused, declare two separate variables, int a equal to 20, double b equal to double a equal to 10.5. Now pass the data here, a comma b. So here what I am doing, I'm passing the first value as double, and the second value I'm having as an integer. But if you take a look at our method signature, is there any method available which accepts one double and then an integer? No, we have only two methods related to our numeric data types. The first one is int a, int b, which accepts two integers, and the second one is which accepts two double values. But still, you can see that it was able to resolve the call to two double. So that means it has resolved the call to add method which accepts two double values. What Java has done, Java will verify for the first time if there is any exact match which accepts a double and then an integer. If there is no match available, let me draw the diagram for JVM. See, this is our JVM. So in our JVM, we already know that for an double value, it accepts 8 bytes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is double value. But for an integer, we just need only 4 bytes. For an integer, we just need only 4 bytes. So that means 8 byte space. You can have 8 byte space on the caller method or the accepted method. Here it is accepting 8 byte space, and you are sending only 4 byte integer value. It can easily fit the data at that level, even though the name of the variable is b. So this is the variable name b, or the variable got allocated as a local variable, and here you are sending 4 byte data. That means b can easily hold 4 bytes or easily use the first 4 bytes to allocate the integer, whatever that was sent in the calling method. So in this case, Java knows that it can do a automatic type conversion, and it can accept the parameter as a double value and perform the operation. Let us say we don't have the integer method itself. Okay. Now we have only two methods. First one is double a comma double b. The next one is string a comma string b. Still, the second method call, come back to our old one, 1020. So here I am calling 1020. So 1020, we already know that these two are integers. But Java will verify that is there any method available, is there any add method available which accepts 2 integers. We don't have. Currently it was commented. But we have a method available which accepts 2 double values, and an integer can be easily converted to a double value, and Java knows to resolve the call to double A comma double B, and it will go and execute that particular code. See, normal mathematics itself, you can see 10 easily converted to 10.0, 20 can be converted to 20.0. That's the simple funda. And then even with the bytes representation in JVM also, a bigger element, a bigger size box, if at all, if you're providing only a small box to fit into that, you can easily fit that one. There won't be any issues. Next. See, currently we have mentioned about our first rule, the data type, accepting parameter data type. Here it was accepting 2 strings, and here it was accepting 2 double values. This is accepted. If you want, you can have 1 double also, which is also an accepted one. Only thing is, let me comment out the code. Only thing is, you just need to differ in terms of data type or in terms of number of arguments. So currently you can see that you are using difference in terms of number of arguments. But here in this case, let us say we want to return the value. Return C value. Let us say it is accepting the return value as double. Let us say we are having the same method name, and here also we are accepting 2 parameters. At here you can see that the return value is different for the first method. It is sending as a double, and for the second method it is returning as a void. So that means it won't return anything. But the fundamental rule is it should be differ in terms of number of arguments, or it should differ in data types. If at all, if you have a different return type, that won't be considered as part of overloading. Only the first rule, the first 2 rules will be going to work to identify whether the methods are properly overloaded or not. But in this case, you can see that you are avoiding the first rule. So overloading concept, what it says is it should differ in terms of number of arguments, or it should differ in terms of data types. If at all, if you have same return type or different return type, that doesn't include in the overloading process. So if you say that I'm changing the return type and I'm using the same parameter list, then Java compiler won't accept that as a proper overloading concept, and it will be going to throw a compilation error specifying that the method has already declared and you're writing a duplicate method. Is that fine, Jitin? Can we have multiple returns in one method? See, last class I have explained about multiple return statements. You can have multiple returns in a method as long as you are placing in if-else block. The purpose of return statement is to return back from the method. So if you write return and once after that one more time return, that means there is no usage in this case. When you say return, the control, Java knows that it is already returning from this place. Why you are writing again one more statement once after that? So Java will say that this is unreachable code. Let us say if you are having some condition, it's C equal to 10. So in this case, Java knows that only when C equal to 10, it will be going to return. So when the condition has returned to true, then only it will be going to return. Like return A, B, C. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, in case of return, you can only return one particular object or one primitive data type. you can't return more than one. That I'll be going to explain it one more time later. That's all with respect to method overloading. Next one is constructor overloading. Vijay? Yeah, Vijay.
No, this is Vijay. Can you please tell the basic this requirement for overloading? You said something about the return type and this one. Just brief. Can you just refill here? Basic requirement for overloading.
Basic requirement.
You said it has to. The method name has to be same. And the parameters should not.
Okay, yeah, I got your question. See, in case of overloading, the two rules for overloading, or if at all if Java understands or Java was able to recognize that these methods are overloaded, they should follow either of the two rules. The first one is it should be differ in terms of number of arguments, and the second thing is either the first one is either case or the second one is or case. It should differ in terms of data type. So these are the two cases in which Java compiler understands that the methods are overloaded and it will accept the same method name to be provided for two different methods. Let us say you are writing two methods, add of integer a, integer b. And the second method also you are writing it as add integer a, integer b. But you will specify that the first method won't return anything and the second method will be going to return an integer result. So these methods, as you can see, it is not following the first rule. It does not differ in terms of arguments, and it was not at all following the second rule also. It should differ in terms of data types. But only you can see that is it is differ in terms of return types. But the return type difference won't be considered as part of overloading. It should follow either of these two choices, and then only they'll be called as overloading methods. If at all, if you are adding one more return type, so one more parameter in C, in this case, you can see that it has followed the first rule, and it also differs in terms of return type. So either it can differ in terms of return types, or it can use same return type as well. Is that fine, Vijay?
Perfect. So basically, if there is no return type, if we say void, we can't even initiate, right? We cannot call. Like we have to have a variable to call it, right? It's like a function method.
Return type will be going to use.
If you assume that the first one is a void.
Okay.
A void. So here, when you initiate, when you call the add, you cannot say x is equal to add.
Oh yeah, correct. Because you are not going to return.
Sorry, right?
Okay. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, the next concept is constructor overloading. We have already seen about constructors in the last class, and we have already written two constructors within our box class. The first one is default constructor we have written, and the next one is parameter constructor, which accepts three variables: height, width, and depth.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2K Infosys.com. On our website H2K Infosys.com, You will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.